Hello there guys and welcome, it is Niran here and today it is time for episode number 2 of our Project Cars career mode walkthrough here, and in today's episode we will of course be going through the second round of Season 1 in Formula Rookie. Last time out of course we took our first win at Oulton Park in that second race after a very solid 6th place in the first race. I actually know why I started from the back in that race, but I'll get onto that a little bit later on. Here you can see something else on the dashboard as well in the background, something that I found actually was quite interesting. You'll be seeing the standings as they stand now. With Mariah's there top and Bernard Laurent behind him, the two AutoRebel drivers from myself, and Wills Bithry, I think that is, in 4th place in front of SNE Eamon and Paul Rowan. So that's how the UK Championship stand at the moment. But of course on this dashboard you can also see different championships, and I'll hopefully scroll down in a moment and see the German and US championships, and it's really interesting because you can actually see the other drivers competing in the other championships. So I don't know whether they progress as well throughout the career mode or whether they're just randomly generated drivers to be had at a certain point during the season. In the meantime, talking about what's going to be in this episode, we are of course at Snetterton for round 2, or races 3 and 4 of the championship. It's the final round of only a 2-round season or championship in this UK Formula Rookie. We need a good round really to take the championship. I'm not really aiming for that given it's my rookie season, but it would be nice I suppose to try and get onto that. Maybe try and snatch that victory in the championship from the two AutoRebel drivers. So here we are, about to enter qualifying now for the Snetterton 200 round. Now again, Snetterton, another track I haven't driven since what, for about 10 years on a racing game, so I'm going to have to get used to the track, acclimatise to it. It's also different from the track that I would have used back then, which would have been the Snetterton 100. There's nothing really too different, apart from it would have been a 90-degree corner at turn 2, as opposed to a hairpin and then a left-hander. So nothing really different, but just going to need to get used to the track a little bit and get used to the car around this particular track. Now, going on to our first time lap, and as you can see, this car here, I don't know who it is, but has come out of the pit lane right in front of us on our first flying lap and isn't getting out of the way. Extremely frustrating, because that is now our first lap ruined by a car in front of us on cold tyres just not getting out of the way. Now moving on to our second time lap after a pretty poor first lap that put us into 14th. Unsurprisingly, given we were having to trail behind a car on cold tyres that wouldn't get out of the way. Going through the bomb hole there, which when I was a kid and I used to watch touring cars, I'm not going to lie, I did think it was called the bum hole. I did think it was quite weird at the time, but I've since learned that it's not actually called the bum hole. That's completely by the by. We've gone through there. It's a lovely corner to go through. I know they've changed the names of a lot of the corners to less interesting names, so I'm gonna continue to call them what they used to be called. And as you can see there, with that lap, our second flying lap, we go into 2nd place on the grid now. Having discovered that you have to set 2 competitive lap times, given that your second fastest time across the qualifying session is where you start in the second race, which is why I was last on the grid for race 2 in Oulton Park, because I didn't set a second time. We're coming across the line now for another lap, and we do in the end go a little bit slower. We do maintain our 2nd place on the grid for at least race 1, and we'll have to see what that does as the session ends. That was literally our last opportunity for a lap. The time ran out halfway through that final lap. There you can see we take 2nd on the grid. Wills Bithry, in fact, of HSM Racing took pole. Of course, he took pole and the win in race 1 at Oulton Park, and then we took the win, obviously, in the second race. So Bithry is certainly someone we have to look out for in the standings, but not good qualifying sessions for either of the AutoRebel cars or SNE Eamon, who are the guys we're fighting in the championship. As you can see a moment ago, I've also found out how to change the fuel load now for racers and for qualifying as well. So we should in theory be a bit quicker with a lighter car here at Snetterton, but we are now underway here. It's a good start, a very good start in comparison to Bithry there, and we're already flying into the lead now down towards turn 1 in this 4-lap race here. The second race I do believe is 6 laps, but we'll get onto that in a little bit. Now coming through the first corner there, and look at the lead we've got already there on Bithry in the HSM Racing car behind the two AutoRebel cars, may I say. Also not having very good qualifying sessions, Moraes and Bernard Laurent, both of which with quite a lot of work to do, and Yeaman too. So it's myself and Bithry really fighting for things in this first race. We'll have to try and close in on the AutoRebel cars in the championship as much as we can in this first race. Really take advantage of the position we find ourselves themselves in, and then hopefully, even if they've got a good qualifying position for race 2, which I don't know yet either. I don't know where I'm starting in race 2 either, because it only breaks the news to you when you're about to start the second race. It doesn't actually tell you at the end of the qualifying session. And hopefully we'll be in a good position in comparison to the AutoRebel cars there as well. But in these foggy conditions here at Snetterton, early on in the morning, of course, the second race is a sort of dusk race. This is, I think, a little bit early on in the morning. Looks like a very dull winter's day, doesn't it, realistically? It looks very cold, very foggy, like 7 o'clock in the morning on a February, in February, and it's just a bit dull, isn't it, really? But in the meantime, we come across the line to end lap 1 in first place. Bidri managing to close us down in that final sector. As you can see now, moving on to lap 3, the conditions have improved somewhat. The track temperatures, I assume, will have increased, but we are still in the lead now, coming through this very long right-hand corner, approaching the final corner. We're a lot quicker through that long right-hand corner, but we also lose quite a bit of time through this last corner. Gone wide there, actually, and kicked up a bit of dust on the exit, but we do, in fact, hold on in front of Bidri in what's proved to be, so far, a pretty boring race. But now, moving on to the last lap, going through the bomb hole there for the final time, and Bidri is all over the back of us here. I don't know if the tyre wear is coming into play or something. We're just not as quick as we were earlier on in the race, and Bidri all over the back of us. We extend a little bit of a lead now, going into the final corner. We've outbroken ourselves, we've gone wide, and surely we're not going to lose on the final corner. We have, though, Bidri going through. Can we get the slipstream? We've also got Alex Morton, our West Force teammate there right behind us, going into slipstream though. Our Bidri, it doesn't look as if we're going to take it. We've lost it on the final corner. Forget the final lap. The final corner of the race, and our championship rival Wills Bidri has taken the win from us for his second win of the season. We take second. Our teammate Alex Morton finally arriving on the scene. He took third in the race, and that is how the points stack up after that race there. Niemanen, one of our title rivals, finished down in 5th, I do believe, and there are the title standings now. We find ourselves just 2 points in front of Bidri. It would have been great to have gotten the win. We would have been in a great position. Moraes and Laurent now dropping to 3rd and 4th, and Essen Niemanen still with an outside chance into 5th place. Now you can see, moving on into race 2, we're 3rd on the grid. Moraes there in the AutoRebel car to the right-hand side starts 2nd, so he's got a good qualifying slot for the second race for AutoRebel. It's another good start. Bidri again on pole, and we're bearing down on him now. We've already passed Moraes, and we're going up the inside down towards turn 1. And will we lead again down towards turn 1? Yes, we will. It's another fantastic start in comparison to the rest of the field, and we go into turn 1 leading yet again from the HSM racing car of Bidri himself. And Moraes will battle behind Laurent yet again with a pretty poor qualifying position. I think Niemanen was somewhat higher up the order than he was in race 1. But realistically, he needs to win this race to have any sort of chance of taking the title. So that's unlikely now, unless there's some sort of incident between myself, Bidri, and of course Moraes. Now moving on to lap 2 of this 6-lap race, and you can actually see a car there off to the side. There's a car in the wall there. I do believe that's Claudio Alves. I can't remember what team he drives for, but the yellow and black car there, face first in the wall. So he's gone off by an absolute mile on lap 1 and is face first in the wall. Now moving on to lap 2, we've got miles wide again, even worse than we were in the first race. We do manage to defend slightly, but Wills Bidri still alongside us now, going down towards turn 1. He's got a little bit of an overlap there, a car in the pit lane due to that retirement for Claudio Alves, but down towards turn 1, we're going to just have to hang it around the outside. It's going to be hugely risky. There may be a coming together, but we stick it around the outside there, brake very late, and I think we're just about going to hold on only just there. Brilliant racing between myself and Bidri. Moraes there still holding tight in 3rd place, but he needs to pass both of us to take the lead and to take the win in the championship. I think Edgar's in there as well. Edgar Herner is in there somewhere for Barracuda. But moving on now to the penultimate lap of the race, we managed to extend the biggest lead we'd had all weekend really over 2nd place, and we made an absolute hash there of the chicane at the end of the back straight. Now coming through the bomb hole, and our gap now has been cut significantly to only around a second. Now on to the final lap of the race, lap 6 of 6. Bidri still there, and we've just got to be clean through this final corner. Not do what we did in race 1. We're slow. Bidri goes out wide though, so it doesn't matter, and it looks as if we are going to take the win that we need to secure the Formula Rookie Championship in our rookie season. The UK Championship is ours. We take the title here in our first season from Wills Bithry in the HSM racing car and Marias in the AutoRebel car as well. We ended up being the top 3 in that final race, from Paul Rowan and Alex Morton and our good friend Edgar as well. In the end, Essen Niemanen a long way down there in 8th place, and Bernard Laurent even further down, not even in the top 10. And that does in fact confirm we don't only take the top drivers standing in that race 2 of round 2, we also got fastest lap of the race as well. So if Bithry had overtaken us and had taken 30 points, we would have got 28 and it would have finished even, completely level. There's the top 10 teams in that race as well. Westforce coming out on top for the first time in a while from HSM Racing and AutoRebel there with Marionette in 4th. And that is a summary of this race weekend. Wills Bithry taking the win on the final corner from ourselves and Alex Morton in 3rd, but we took the win from Wills Bithry. Roles reversal between ourselves there with Marias in 3rd. Bithry gets the point for qualifying, Marias with the point for race 1 fastest lap, and we got the point there for race 2 fastest lap. But that is in fact confirmation we are the champion of the UK Challenge Formula Rookie Championship in our first season. Westforce taking out the team standings because we actually won the championship and we're a Westforce driver. There is how close it was between ourselves and HSM Racing's Wills Bithry. Marias, they're taking 3rd. Essen Niemanen managed to leapfrog the other AutoRebel car of Bernard Laurent from Paul Rowan in the Marionette car, and our teammate Alex Morton for Westforce in 7th place. Overall, the team standings actually goes to HSM Racing, who managed to leapfrog AutoRebel with their drivers Bithry and Essen Niemanen doing a great job. We finished only a few points behind AutoRebel there in 3rd, thanks to a good weekend for ourselves and Alex Morton. But that is it. Here you can see a few emails coming through for teams wanting us in the UK Challenge, but I think we may, now having won the UK Challenge, may also get an offer to drive in the European Challenge. So after only episode 2, our career is advancing hugely as we now look towards season 2 and hopefully a campaign in the European Championship there with, I think, Orion Racing we got an email from. We'll have to check that out next episode. Yet again, confirmation on the screen, you'll have seen it earlier, but don't forget to tweet my official, if you like, Twitter account for this series, Yusufu_WMD, for a chance for your tweet to be shown on the screen in episode 3, where hopefully we will be moving into the European Formula Rookie Championship. Feel free to leave a like if you did enjoy this episode, a very successful episode, taking out the UK Challenge Championship win in our rookie season. Feel free to comment about enjoying the video if you enjoyed it that much, and subscribe if you are new around here as well. It has been a pleasure ranting at you guys today. Have a good day, enjoy yourselves, and goodbye.